Nation of Fitin10, welcome to day 9 of the challenge. And if you don't already know, a reminder to send me your feedback by the end of today. Of course, I am doing this video a little bit late. So it is Sunday, day 9. Send me your feedback, www.trainonmain.com/Fitin10 check-in. The link is in your macro email that I sent you yesterday. Today I want to talk to you about protein, its role in your health, its role in helping to burn body fat, its role in various things, including detoxification of your liver. And let's get into it. So, number 1, protein acts as the building block for all tissues of the body. All tissues, with exception of perhaps your, of body fat. So, it is essential. In fact, you've got 20 pieces to every protein. Okay, dietary protein, that is. 20 amino acids. 9 of those, well, arguably 10, depends on your age. Depends on your stage of life, I should say. But basically, after the age of about 10, 11 years of age, 9 or 10 amino acids that are essential become 9. One of them, okay, is conditionally essential, is what we call it. Essentially, we've got 9 amino acids that are essential, which means the body cannot make these. The only way we can get them is through diet. And this is the disadvantage of eating non-animal-based protein, is we do not get these essential amino acids. Or I shouldn't say we don't get them. It's very, very hard to get all 9 essential amino acids, especially in enough. It's not a matter of getting them all. It's a matter of getting all of them in enough of an amount. And the problem is a lot of plant proteins are incomplete. That is, they do not contain all essential amino acids. And of the essential amino acids they do contain, there is much less of them. Okay, so they're not a good building block. They're not a good source of protein. Protein is the building block of the human body. It's necessary for recovery, not just of your muscles, but of everything. If you get a cut, if you get a burn, if you break a bone, if you have some sort of injury that requires tissue repair, protein intake is important for all of these things. All right, number 2. Dietary protein has the highest thermic effect. The highest thermic effect. That means, it's a fancy way of saying it takes the most energy. It takes the most energy to digest out of all the macronutrients. It takes about 30% of its own energy. All right, if you have 100 calories worth of protein, it takes about 30 calories to digest that protein. It has the highest thermic effect. It has the highest cost for digestion. Number 3, okay, and I don't actually even know if I said this, perhaps because I'm doing this a little bit later in the evening. These are all reasons why dietary protein is important. Number 3, necessary for muscle maintenance and recovery. And this is specifically, obviously, we're talking about muscle mass. Of course, I just talked about burns and cuts and all that kind of stuff. But it is really, really important for the maintenance of muscle and recovery. And I will tell you that it's not just about getting in enough protein for this to happen. It's about getting enough protein and other calories. Calories from fat and or carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are going to be the most protein sparing, actually. If you, for instance, if you had a high protein diet, but overall your calories were still fairly low, like let's just say you had 200 grams of protein per day, which would be quite a lot for a lot of you. Okay, that's 800 calories, but that's all you had. So you only had 800 calories a day, but you got 200 grams of protein. You're still gonna be protein deficient in terms of your recovery because you're gonna be using protein for energy. It won't be doing its role for recovery. So we want to think about getting enough fats and or carbohydrates in addition to protein. Okay, so we spare the protein as a fuel source, and we utilize it for recovery. Number 4, satiety. Protein is the most satiating of the 3 macronutrients. This just simply means that you feel full when you eat a lot of protein. This is one reason why a lot of people say, I'm feeding them too much. This is one reason why I don't give you quite as much protein in the beginning of the challenge, because it has such a satiating effect, and you will feel full and you'll feel like you're overeating. And also, it's very hard for people to get enough protein, generally speaking, because they're not used to eating protein sources, at least not every meal, or at least not to the same amount. Number 5, it helps to regulate blood sugar levels, excuse me. So very, very important, because there's a difference between whether you have, let's just say, a baked potato. Baked potato is not sugar, it's more starch, but starch is just change of sugar, so let's just accept it as sugar. Whether you have a baked potato on its own, or you have a baked potato with a certain source of protein, like let's say steak. The rate at which that carbohydrate will be broken down will be much different. It will be much slower. And this is very, very important for helping to regulate blood sugar levels. Okay, so if blood sugar levels go too high, your body's got to get rid of the sugar, because having too much sugar in your bloodstream is toxic. It is deadly. So we want to make sure that we have a good regulation system. Protein helps to slow down the release of sugar, which is very good for your insulin sensitivity. It's very healthy for your pancreas, for the health of your pancreas. Very healthy, a very good way to help, at least partially, or maybe one of the components that we would utilize to help to fend off any chances of developing type 2 diabetes, which seems to be skyrocketing, and it has been really for the last 20 years or perhaps more. And this is totally avoidable just through lifestyle measures, as are many other health markers. They're all avoidable. Well, if not all of them, a good majority. Blood pressure, cholesterol carriers, blood sugar levels, fasting insulin, etc. Number 6, I'm at 7:40. Okay, I'll talk more tomorrow. Let's get to the message of the day. And the message of the day on this day 9 is a very important one. Long-term consistency over short-term perfection, or over short-term sprint, or over anything short-term. We want to think long-term, unless of course you don't care and you just want to get ready for a photo shoot or a bodybuilding contest. I'm sure you all want to get ready for a bodybuilding contest. I'm sure that's why most people are doing this challenge. No, I'm just kidding. You want to think about long-term, not short-term. Okay, so long-term consistency. And in order for things to be long-term, they have to be reasonable. It has to be reasonable. It's fine if you want to sprint, but you will not last. You will not last in the marathon of your ongoing health, and when more specifically, the maintenance of your body composition, or the improvement of your body composition for that matter. Okay, long-term consistency over short-term perfection. We can think about progression and maintenance as kind of the same thing. They're one and the same, really. Long-term consistency over short-term perfection. A couple days ago I said this is a process, right? And the process is long-term. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. See you guys.